Remember last week when I was like, oh, we're going to be looking at houses soon and hopefully buy something at the height of summer? Yeah, well, all this Aries energy and that Aries new moon last week had different plans for us. We're under contract for a house. Don't worry, the house buying process will not interrupt my flow. These episodes will come out every Sunday along with my horoscopes. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm excited. And even though I'm just a disembodied voice most of the time, I talk to you every week and make connections with clients. So thank you to everyone for all the well wishes, and we'll keep you posted on how it goes. I hope that new moon last week did something just as magical, even if it was unexpected, yet still magical for you. But if it didn't, there's a full moon this week that might do the trick. Let's get into this week's forecast. The big movers and shakers this week are Venus in Gemini and Mercury in Aries/Taurus. This is nice because we're starting to see some movement away from all the Aries energy. I kept saying in my weekly horoscope emails that all this Aries energy was testing even me, a full-blown Aries lover, an Aries apologist, and I'll say it was good to me. While this vortex of Aries energy has been absolutely bonkers, I still love it and it's part of me. I can only hope that people who don't jive with Aries energy have been getting by. And this week breaks up the Aries gang a little more, but it's not until the very end of the week. So let's talk about what Mercury is up to until that happens. Today, Sunday, April 26th, Mercury is hitting the height of a square with Jupiter in Cancer. I tell you what, ever since Jupiter has stationed direct and has been free from Saturn's aspects, it's been litty. I know I talked a lot of shit last year, but it's giving a lot more than it had been. And I don't know if I was prepared for it, honestly. I guess I was talking all that shit and Jupiter's like, bam, you wanted something, here it is. The realm of Cancer is a place where we're growing, maturing, and cultivating something on a deeper, wiser, more subconscious level. And we only have a few months left with Jupiter in Cancer. So honestly, go whole hog. Embrace whatever it is throwing at you because it's exalted right now and we need to make the most of it. I know I've been saying try to go slow. It's growing pains. We only got a little bit left. Go all in. Go for it. But before you do that, there is this square with Mercury in Aries and Jupiter in Cancer that can bring up a lot of mental tension. So maybe wait till this passes. We might find that we're taking on way more than we need to, or that what we're already committed to is really pushing our mental capacity. Juggling these two areas of life will be important as we begin the week, so try to stay organized and don't just pop off or assume you have everything in order. Again, that realm of Cancer is bold, it is bright, it is shining, it is moving. Even if we don't realize it, stuff is going on over there. We've been distracted by all this Aries energy, but Jupiter in Cancer is like, hey, I don't care what you got going on over there. I'm still moving over here. So we need to stay organized. We need to stay steady, stay focused, and good things can come, but it is going to take a higher degree of effort and focus to push through. If we're overly confident or we don't read the room, if we let that Aries energy get the best of us, then we can end up making things harder for ourselves than they already are. Diplomacy and tact are our friends within these areas of life as the week begins. There is goodness to be had from Jupiter, but we can't let our hasty minds spoil the soup. We might have really big ideas and grand plans, but we need to make sure everything is in order before we commit to something we can't keep up with. This likely has to do with what transpired around the time of the new moon 2 weeks ago. So just know that that thread is gaining traction and be mindful of how fast you approach your growth and how much you take on. We'll hear more from Mercury at the end of the week, but in the meantime, Venus in Gemini has a few things in store for us. This energy is rather new since Venus just ingressed last Friday. The realm of Gemini is being lit up by Venus's curiosity and flirtatious nature. And this isn't just romantic flirting either. We'll be flirting with all kinds of ideas and notions within the realm of Gemini. Anything that looks interesting or strikes our fancy is something we'll be prone to explore while this transit is in play, which can add yet another plate for us to juggle and bring more stress and tension to that Mercury-Jupiter square that I mentioned. Venus is going to be in a sextile with Neptune and a trine with Pluto early in the week. This means we're going to be intellectually curious and prone to getting ourselves into something we don't need to be getting into right now. If you have the bandwidth, then by all means, follow Venus down the rabbit hole. But if you know you're already at max capacity dealing with whatever Mercury and Jupiter are arguing about, then just window shop, look from a distance, or keep a healthy arm's length between you and the blooming intellectual obsession that Venus is pushing. Venus's aspects with the generational planets are harmonic in nature, so it's not bad. It's just we're already dealing with a lot of other heavy and important energy at the start of the week. In my professional astrological opinion, the realms of Aries and Cancer should take priority over whatever it is Venus in Gemini is trying to get us to look at early on in the week. There is a time and a place for Venus's goodness and curiosity, but the start of the week is not it. Take note of what Venus is pointing at, but don't let it distract you entirely, again, unless you have the bandwidth. Come Friday, Venus is in a sextile with Saturn, and that's when we can fully engage with this curiosity. The end of the week is a time to ask the deeper, more serious questions that pertain to what's going on within the realm of Aries. Venus is going to bring logic and passive harmony to the table, which will help soothe the inflamed nature of Aries and all that's been happening there. The end of the week is a really good time to get your bearings, organize your thoughts, and feel more at ease with any major choices you've made recently or any major choices that you're deliberating. Venus in Gemini loves to talk it out, loves to talk. So talk it out. Find the harmony, find the goodness, ask the questions. Saturn in Aries is going to be there holding a container and being like, okay, I'm here to field your questions. I'm here to get the answers that you seek. Venus's energy leading up to the end of the week can be informative, and we may have questions that we want to ask, but it is best to bide our time and wait until that aspect with Saturn hits so we can probe deeper in a more serious and attuned sort of way. Because again, Venus in Gemini is here to stir shit up a little bit, but in the most unassuming and welcoming way possible. We're looking for answers, but also don't mind taking some detours along the way. And that's where Saturn's energy is going to help ground Venus and give it direction, which can be helpful in guiding our curiosity and asking the right questions and not letting us just go off on a tangent that has nothing to do with anything else in our life right now. This aspect is also a sign that it's okay to infuse a little humor, a little levity into a more serious situation. Even though it's Saturn involved in the sextile, it's about time we laughed a little bit at the absurdity of what's going on. So give yourself some time at the end of the week to look at everything that's been happening in Aries over the last few weeks, or just in general in your life over the last few weeks, and embrace just how absolutely absurd it's been. There are two other important things that happen at the end of the week, and that's Mercury ingressing into Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio. The full moon in Scorpio will be on Friday, May 1st. This will be another Mars rules lunar event. So I hate to say it, but we still aren't out of the woods with the realm of Aries because Mars is currently in Aries. What this full moon brings up will tangentially involve Aries and what we have going on there. The realm of Scorpio will still be the main area of interest, but we can't seem to escape the Aries energy anytime soon, so this full moon will still have to deal with what's going on there. The moon has fallen dignity when in Scorpio, and that's not the end of the world. It does not mean this full moon will suck. What it means is that we're going to have to tap into the edginess of fixed water and understand what's being brought to the surface within the realm of Scorpio. I go into more detail in my horoscopes where I talk about Scorpio as a bog and the full moon is going to bring our bog bodies to the surface. But long story short, know that the stagnant waters of Scorpio will be illuminated and will be presented with another piece of the Aries puzzle that we've been working on. The other thing right at the end of the week to note is that Mercury ingresses into Taurus. Right before it does, it makes an exact conjunction with Chiron. I'm not even going to explain this Chiron energy because you guys are probably sick of me talking about it. So all I'll say is that we need to speak from a place of truth, authenticity, and take pride in our words at the end of the week. Don't diminish or downplay your voice. Say it with your chest. After you're done saying it with your chest, Mercury scampers on over to Taurus and the vibe changes. Our minds are going to be a lot more settled once Mercury hits Taurus. The Aries transits are dwindling slowly at this point, and we're getting energy from other areas of life, which is nice. It will be a welcomed reprieve to have Mercury in Taurus. Our minds and communication style is going to slow down, be more methodical, and have a stronger focus on intentional thought and meditative action. Words, both spoken and written, will carry a lot of weight and intention behind them, so do not be afraid to deliberate and ask for more time if you're making a big decision. And this is big or small. I don't care if on Saturday you go to get coffee and you're up at the counter and you're like, just give me a minute. I need a minute to figure out what kind of coffee I want. Don't let anyone pressure you into making a choice or into forming your thoughts before you're ready. So big decisions, small decisions, I don't care. Take your time come Saturday once Mercury is in Taurus. This is another whirlwind week, but at least we're getting some more energy than just being fire blasted to death. Venus is going to start being a little instigator, but in a cute way, and Mercury is going to slow down and take itself more seriously. Be mindful of the bog bodies, and have a great week. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.